We welcome you all inside 12th Man Studios in the south end zone of Kyle Field. I'm Will Johnson, and this is the season finale edition of The Beat. We begin with baseball. The Aggies had a big-time series at Bluebell Park over the weekend against the Vanderbilt Commodores. It was top 5 teams against each other. A lot was expected out of them. Well, we got it through the first 2 games. A&M won on Thursday 1-0 with Turner Larkins, Andrew Vincent, and Mark Ecker combining to shut out the Commodores. Vandy struck back on Friday night, winning 6-1, and that set up a historic finale between Texas A&M and Vanderbilt. On Saturday afternoon, with a sold-out crowd and gorgeous setting surrounding him, senior right-hander Kyle Simonds took to the mound. He had his stuff going from the start. Vanderbilt got a runner in the top of the first off an error, but Simonds easily got out of the inning. In the second, he got 3 groundouts. His first strikeout came in the fourth when he K'd the leadoff hitter. He continued to cruise. When the 5th inning ended, many of the 6,500 probably started to notice. He hadn't allowed a hit yet. It was in the 5th the Aggies finally got on the board themselves when Austin Homan got a homer over the left field wall, and A&M tacked on a second run in the frame. Simonds finally got to work with the lead. He had no trouble in the 6th, 7th, or 8th. By the time the 9th inning rolled around, the error in the first was still the only base runner. He'd sat everybody down since then. It was no secret now. Simonds stepped to the hill for the top of the 9th, up 3-0, and with a no-hitter going.
Kyle Simonds needed 15 pitches to get through the first inning. He hasn't needed more than 11 for any other inning thereafter. And he handles the comebacker with ease. 1 down.
Connor Kaiser then stepped up. It looked like he would end it.
And the freshman sends a line drive to center. Chorby lays out. He got it!
Simonds then only needed to get Jaron Kendall to finish a memorable day.
Line to Simonds. He's got it! And he's got history.
It was the first no-hitter thrown in an SEC game since 1994. 22 years. An unforgettable Saturday in College Station. This portion of the beat is brought to you by ASCO, your place for case construction equipment in Texas. We welcome you back to 12th Man Studios and to The Beat. History at Bluebell Park on Saturday afternoon. The 12th no-hitter in A&M history was thrown, but only the 6th in which an individual goes 9 innings to get it. We are at our desk right now with head baseball coach Rob Childress and the man himself that threw and blanked Vanderbilt, and that is Kyle Simonds, our senior from Grand Island, Nebraska. And guys, what a fun day it was just to be there to witness it. And Coach, I'll start with you. No hitter or not, just how efficient was the outing by Kyle going through the 9 innings?
Well, the pitch count was never in question. I mean, it was just how long can he stay out there and keep them in check, and you know what, hope would score another run or two so he could breathe a little bit. I mean, any mistake would have been magnified with it being such a close game, but you know, he was incredible. The crowd was into it, and you know, he was not going to be denied.
Yeah. And Kyle, not in regards to the no-hitter yet, but at what point in time, maybe in pregame or once we got going against Vanderbilt, did you kind of realize I've got some stuff going here that's pretty good and is going to be tough to hit?
Yeah, I thought just in the first couple innings I was pounding the zone well and mixing pitches up pretty good with the curveball and the changeup, and so you know, it was just one of those days where you kind of put it where you wanted it, you know, and then finish guys away and keeping it down. The wind was blowing out, so that was kind of a concern, red flag for the day. Just keep the ball down.
And Coach, this is no disrespect to past pitchers who have thrown no-hitters. We do see it happen, but it seems so often it might be on a Tuesday night or against a mid-major. Did it magnify what Kyle did, considering this was a matchup of top 5 teams in a very important conference contest?
I was asked that after the game, and you know, Ross Stripling's no-hitter, the one that we were part of, you know, a few years back, was very special in its own right and very important for what we were trying to do. That was an open weekend in conference, but to do it against a team like Vanderbilt, to do it in SEC play, do it to win the series, you know, an important series down the stretch, you know, certainly the stakes were a little bit higher, but you know, both Ross and Kyle were fantastic against 2 really good offenses, and you know, anytime you throw a no-hitter, you've done something really special, and guys behind you have played great defense.
Certainly is the case. We'll get to that in just a moment, that defense. But, Kyle, when does it trigger with you? I mean, there's traditions and superstitions that are involved with throwing a game like this. Guys stay away from you. You're not supposed to mention it. When in your mind do you finally say, look, we can get a win here, yes, but maybe something else is attached to this?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really until like the 7th inning, and we got a few extra runs there late that made it 3-0, and then it was in the back of my mind as, you know, hey, just keep going out there and filling up the zone. And I mean, I just kept doing the same thing in the dugout every time I came in, and you know, the guys did the same thing. They were relaxed. They were keeping me, you know, light, ragging me a little bit here and there. And then I don't think Coach said a word to me since the 1st inning, as far as I can remember. He just stayed pretty quiet, and I mean, it was just kind of sticking to a routine the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Finally here, the defense has to be there. You can't do this all on your own. Your final play was terrific, a liner right back at you that you had to snare. I do want to ask you about the one before that. 2nd out of the 9th inning was truly special. Ball off the bat, did you think Nick Chorby could get to it, or did you think that was the moment maybe it ended?
Honestly, I didn't think he was going to get to it. I just saw kind of it dying a little bit, but I knew he had a beat on it, and he's the kind of guy that can make that play. He's going to lay out. He's going to give you everything you got. And then I was just hoping he wouldn't trap it or anything like that. And it was a clean catch, and I kind of did a double take to make sure he had it. And then it set in. It was like, all right, you got one more.
And guys, I guess the reward now is you go on the road to probably another top 10 team, South Carolina. Coach, it never ends in this thing, does
yeah,
it?
and you know, for us and for our players, we've done a marvelous job all year long of just keeping our head down and focus on the next thing in front of us, the next game. And you know, been asked about that the last week too. Man, you guys have got a really tough finish, and you got Vanderbilt and teams after that. And you know, for me, it's all about the next game, the next series, and our players have done a great job with that too. And you could take any 3-game stretch in the 10 weeks that we played SEC and go, man, that was a tough 3-game stretch. Right. And you know, this one's no different. Let's just go play, keep your head down, go play good baseball, and give yourself a chance to win late.
Certainly so. And guys, congratulations on what happened Saturday and in the Vanderbilt series. All the best to you in Columbia.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, thank you.
The Gamecock series starts on Friday night from Founders Park. We're back in a moment on The Beat. This portion of The Beat is brought to you by Memorial Hermann, official sports medicine partner of Texas A&M Athletics. We welcome you back to the season finale edition of The Beat. Texas A&M softball, they closed out their regular season schedule with a trip to the Plains against a top 5 Auburn squad. The Tigers were ranked 6th in the country, a tall task on the road for A&M, but the Aggies respond in the first game, winning it in extra innings. A Callie Landfear homer in the 8th proved to be the difference. In Saturday's second game, A&M kept leaving the yard. 5 home runs by 5 different players. Ags win 13-6. Auburn would get the last game, but A&M takes the series. They get 2 of 3 from a top 10 team on the road. The Aggies end the regular season with a 37-17 record against what may have been the toughest schedule in school history. And with that, it is off to the postseason for Texas A&M softball. We have with us in studio right now their head coach, Joe Evans. And Coach, what a way to wrap the regular season. Always nice to know that you have in your hand as you go into a very important time of your season, taking 2 out of 3 from a top 10 team.
Yeah, I'm excited about the way we played at Auburn. Our kids really stepped up, and we had momentum coming from that win against Florida at home on that Sunday, and we turned around and head to Auburn and just played really well, just really relentless. I mean, every time we had our back against the wall and got behind, we got ahead and really did some damage. So it was great to get 2 there.
And with the NCAAs coming up, you want to play your best now. It's such a big time of your year, and people say, well, you got to have pitching. You need to be able to hit the ball. I mean, really, you have to be the complete team.
Yes.
So pitching, offense, defense, where do the Aggies stand at this moment?
Well, we still can be more consistent. You know, there are days when our defense isn't as good as it needs to be, and what happened this weekend was then we just hit more. You know, we scored more runs, and our pitching at times has faltered, and this weekend our pitchers threw as well as they could throw and gave us a chance to win all 3 games. So right now I feel good about where we are. Our hitters are running on all cylinders. Our pitching is better than it's been the entire conference. And our defense, we just need to make sure we shore it up. We've got an error here and there that really at critical times could lose a game for you. So, but all in all, I think we're peaking right at the right time.
And as exciting as it is to look at the postseason, it's hard not to look off into the future now when it comes to Texas A&M softball, because a couple of weeks ago, the Board of Regents announced the approval of a construction project on your new stadium, set to be ready in time for the 2018 season. How much energy has this just injected into your program since you heard the news?
It's so exciting. It's really like this shot heard around the softball world. I mean, when that was announced and they started showing photos and renderings of the stadium, I was hearing from people all across the country that I don't typically hear from day in and day out, just saying, wow, we can't believe this stadium and what you guys are doing. And then really even in the same line saying, it's time, you know, you guys deserve it and we're really excited for you. So the way we're doing it at a time where we've seen a lot of stadiums and know what it takes to build a great stadium, it's just really fun to be in the mix at this point in time.
Postseason is here, new stadium on the way. Very easy to say, exciting times for Aggie softball. We thank you for your time.
All right, thanks a lot.
Joe Evans right here with Texas A&M softball. Back in a moment on the season finale of The Beat. We welcome you back inside 12th Man Studios and to The Beat. The 2015-16 Texas A&M basketball season was one for the books, one of the best in school history. 28 victories, that was a record for Texas A&M, and they advanced to the Sweet 16 for just the 4th time in program history. 3 freshmen were instrumental in the run. We have them right here at our desk. Tyler Davis, DJ Hogue, and Admon Gilder. All 3 of you will come back, try to match it, and maybe even go further next season. You have to go through off season before you get there. This summer and on into the fall, let's start with you, Tyler. Where does your work lie? What improvements are you looking to make?
Definitely working on staying on the court longer, you know, working on my conditioning, working on getting in better shape with Darby. That's definitely the emphasis, and being more explosive so I can grab some more rebounds. So that's where my focus is right now. Darby's doing a great job with us. He's working us real hard and just make sure we get better every day.
And DJ, your summer, fall work, what must improve in your game?
I gotta get a little laterally quicker. My defense, pick that up so I can be locked down defender at D1 level, and then consistency offensively and just shaping my body with Darby how I want it to be.
Admon, same to you. Where does it lie this summer and fall with your workouts?
Mine's going to be pretty much everything, but mostly it's probably going to be a transition into the 1, you know, being comfortable playing at the 1, also at the 2. But now that we don't have Caruso, Anthony Collins, seeing the leadership from them at the point guard position, I think I'm going to have to take a more vocal leadership, you know, saying we need to push ourselves in practice, or if it's in the weight room, track, whatever.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it there, Admon. 4 seniors exit the program, and these weren't just seniors. These were excellent basketball players. Does leadership now fall on this trio, even though you're going to be sophomores next year, Admon?
Yes, it does. You know, we're going to be kind of the centerpiece of everything. We're going to have players still returning. We have Tony, Trocha, Tavario Miller, Kobe, Eubanks, and also recruits and then transfers that we're probably going to get. So therefore, we're just going to have to, grow up real fast. They're going to use that saying that we're not freshmen anymore. So we're going to have to take their role and roll with it.
And you guys all committed to this program from the Dallas area. Everybody heard the story of your freshman seasons. DJ, what made you want to be a part of this Aggie program?
Tyler was definitely a part in my decision because we played together in high school and we had real good chemistry. We always loved playing together, always played for each other, and so we liked that about each other. But as far as Coach Kennedy, I mean, he's Texas A&M was my first offer, so that showed that he showed a lot of belief in me and thought I could be really something. And I got that my freshman year, so that really showed me he believed in me. And then he was always such a cool, laid-back coach. I've always played for those, and I like playing for them because they allow you to be who you are. And then Coach Darby really sold it for me too, because I knew for me to make the next transition would be to get my body right and get better defensively.
Kind of a question to all of you to debate before we go. If it's game day, I mean, you guys are about to take on an SEC team. Imagine yourself in that setting. Which one of you is the most intense on game day? Serious is that Tyler? Is that right?
I think I am.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes
I
him
think
the
so.
most intense guy?
I mean, I know these guys are really focused. They're just a little bit more quiet than I am when it comes to all the yelling stuff. Well, when it's the big time games, they're in it too. But before the game, I usually have a yell that I do before I go into the locker room the second time. I'm just really intense, so I get my blood flowing. So.
Well, then on the other side of that, who's the most relaxed and maybe the lighter guy on game day? Not too nervous, even keel maybe. And that's Admiral. You agree with that?
I agree with that. It's sometimes where I like to, be funny at times. If it's just looking at somebody that I know in the stands, give them a wink or anything. So I think I'm a little more relaxed and a little more funnier.
All right, fellas, those game days will be here before you know it, but good luck in your preparation through off season. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tyler Davis, DJ Hogue, Admon Gilder, Texas A&M fresh off that Sweet 16 run. Glad they joined us here on The Beat. Just about time to say goodbye on The Beat, but first, the Building Champions Awards were held last week at the Hall of Champions at Kyle Field, and the night featured the awarding of the male and female athletes of the year here at Texas A&M. On the female side, it went to Shamir Little of Aggie Track and Field. She and A&M are off to their SEC championships this weekend. For the male side, Alex Caruso won the award. His senior year was capped by the Aggies' memorable run to the Sweet 16. We congratulate everyone who was awarded at the BCAs last week. We have run out of time. This is our season finale of The Beat. Have a great summer, Aggies. So long, everybody. I love our stupidity.